Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights, Day 2. It was definitely an exciting one. Shavdatuashvili doing his thing. Ono Shohei watching from the stands. So we'll jump straight into it. Of course, Shavdatuashvili, he really does know how to make a competition about him. He was definitely the main character, the star of the day at under 73. Some really good scores. And I do think the new rule set really suits his style much better. In the past, a lot of the times he was getting throws, especially from this situation here, a Seoi Nage, and they weren't getting scores. They weren't enough for a Wazari, but they're definitely enough for a Yuko. So he was definitely on fire all day. Went into the finals and he was up against this guy here, a Gaiyan, and he's just one of these new guys that I haven't heard of before. And then this here, a nice technique, but check out this next one. This is probably one of the lowest Ochigaris that I've ever seen. So a similar story to yesterday. It was definitely the veteran versus the rising star. And you can see here Shavdatuashvili playing the Shido game very well, putting in 2 solid attacks while a Gainan has 2 Shidos against his name. But it didn't end with Shidos, it ended with this fabulous technique, and we saw that earlier on from Shavdatuashvili as well. Actually, Ono Shohei, he was a big fan of this technique as well, so I wonder if there was any influence there. Now in the bronze medals, Gassner, beautiful counter here. This is a good way to deal with the Kosodo. Sometimes you can throw a Kochi in there to counter it as well. But just real good top control. Lands in the Osaikomi, and Ziggy, he's given up at this point. And for the other bronze medal contest, we had Valeriani taking out Gabba, dominating the contest. And then a throw for Yuko. They did go to the video referee just to check, and we'll have a look at that in a second. But Gabba, he had a good day as well, and I'll show you guys some highlights from some of the other guys at 73 as well, just after we have a look at this Kochi Gake for sure. And then just kind of the legs, how the hips are positioned, definitely enough for Yuko there. Now this is Gassner, and I did say he took one of the bronze medals, but just some highlights earlier on. Had a bit of a tough contest here. Upper Wazari gets thrown, although just for Yuko. And then comes back with a really nice technique here. A little bit slow, and they did actually give this Ippon. Here's a nice technique from Valeriani, and he was one of the guys to take out one of the many Georgians. At 73 and under 81s, there were a lot of Georgians going out early, although Shavdatuashvili, he stayed in it. Stayed on top. Here's Yonezuka taking out one of the Georgians. And I do want to ask you guys, what would you call this turnover? I'm currently doing a little section on turnovers on the Judo Wiki, and there's a lot of turnovers that just don't have names, I feel. In this one, it is really popular. We see Tajima use it. I've seen many people use this turnover, especially with that belt grip. What do we call it? We need a name, guys. We need a name. Now here's some nice techniques from Gabba. Really low driving Ouchigari. And then this next one's really interesting. Watch Blue. His right leg will come across, and then Gabba will take out the other leg with the Kochi. Not entirely sure if that was intentional or not. And then just lastly, before we move on to 81s, Gaitero, he made an appearance at under 73 using his Newaza to get a victory here. But then in his second contest, gets thrown here for Yuko with the Obitori Gaeshi, and then gets thrown again. Does well to defend, but still a score here. So Gaitero, I wonder what he's doing. Maybe he's going to move up. There is Torne at under 66. Alright, so on to 81s. And if you're wondering what happened to Jalo, he was eliminated by Drapeau. Drapeau definitely on fire these days. Here he's again with his face all wrapped up. And this is definitely his trademark. Bosotogari doing that a lot these days. Now Drapeau, he lost a close contest to Pelivan. Pelivan, he has this technique, this Kochigari that he does really consistently, getting a score with it. And here he is getting another score with it. And his hand definitely below the belt. And it makes this technique just a little bit better, I think, being able to go a little bit lower with the new rules. So Pelivan, he made it all the way to the finals. And he was up against Albarok, and here you see that Kochi working again for him. Although it gets countered here, and this counter was for Wazari, but Pelivan didn't stop. There's that Kochi again. And then this, they initially gave it a score, but they turned it away because outside of the mat area, So I think Mate had been called at that point. And then you see the clock burning down here. So Pelivan, good attacks, but Albarak with the Wazari, and he takes gold. Now this was really interesting in the bronze medal contest. Watch Arigba. He's going to take a high top grip, and he's not going to let go of it. And that's going to be his own poison, because Dvalishvili is going to use that. And Arigba just holding on too tight and went with it. Went with that technique there, so that was really nice. And I definitely think I'll be adding that one to the Judo Wiki. Just a really good example of holding on and using that against your opponent. So Arigba didn't get the bronze medal, but he had some good moments earlier on in the day. If you're wondering who he lost to, it was Albarak. And I swear I've seen Albarak do this to a number of people. He's just very good in the close range, smothering people like this. And here he is taking out Margalidon, Arigba that is, with an opportune Uranage here. Now there was one more bronze medal at under 81s, and that was Drapo versus Baroshvili. And Baroshvili, he does get a Yuko and golden score, taking that one home. So two Georgians taking a bronze at under 81s, and then the one gold medal at under 73 for Georgia. A good day for them. So we'll move on now and we'll talk about under 63. Now Abaganu, I mean such a dominant force in judo, she gets into the quarterfinal and she's up against Pinard from Canada and ends up getting thrown, and she couldn't get it back. Pinard went through, ended up fighting against Decatur, ended up getting a Wazari with a Seoinage in that contest, and so that's a great win for her, taking out strong French competitor, and then also Abaganu, legend of the sport. Now Abaganu, she didn't go home empty-handed, ended up getting 2 scores in the bronze medal contest. And then on the other side of the bracket we had Toro Carvajal. She took the other bronze medal at under 63. Now at under 70 we had Ozbas from Hungary. She ended up taking out Van Dijk. Van Dijk, a strong competitor, always medaling at under 70. But she did lose out this time to a Seoinage. Now for the bronze medals, we had Novitsi from Israel and Taimazova. They took a bronze medal each. Taimazova, though, her opponent wasn't competing in the bronze medal contest, so nothing to show you guys there. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 3. It's looking to be a good one. See you in the next one. Peace.